On this episode of Focus, learn what it means to act your age. For World War II veterans, it means commemorating the 70th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day. We share one local veteran's story, plus another World War II soldier rides circles around people half his age in cycling class. These stories, plus ways to keep your mind sharp with Penn State Lehigh Valley and to treat your joints with care from Lehigh Valley Health Network. It's all right now on Focus.
Focus showcases the people, places, and issues that matter to you.
Everybody has a story.
These are the stories that uplift and inspire right here in your neighborhood. Focus on what matters. You never know what you're going to see when you tune into Focus.
Support for Focus is provided by
Univest, banking, insurance, investments, fellowship community, continuing care with spirit, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Focus. I'm Laura McHugh. In part 2 of our series on aging, we explore what it means to act your age and meet seniors who redefine life in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s. For some, part of aging is being a part of history. 2015 marks the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. Here with a memoir of the Allied victory in Europe is Focus reporter Grover Silcox.
Thank you, Laura. The world breathed a collective sigh of relief on VE Day, when the Nazi war machine was finally vanquished. Nathan Klein remembers the joy of that day. He also remembers all the tough fighting it took to achieve it. Nathan always had a passion for serving, back in 1942 and even today. Here's more on this remarkable man. On May 8th, 1945, the United States and its allies celebrated VE Day, the triumphant end of the war with Nazi Germany.
Hitler wanted to be a world conqueror, and he had to be stopped. And for a time, we were losing that war rather badly. Now it was reversed, and now the Nazi menace is expunged, and there's this great sense of release.
Winston Churchill called VE Day the greatest eruption of joy in the history of mankind.
People were delirious. I mean, reported 2 million people celebrating in Times Square, set all kinds of records. It was a big deal, a big deal.
Nathan Klein, a retired U.S. Air Force major, remembers celebrating VE Day in his native Allentown after he had served on a B-26 bomber over Europe.
I was just home a couple days, and the town went crazy.
The world rejoiced after some of the most intense fighting in the months leading up to Germany's surrender.
Most Americans are dying in the last 9 months of the war. D-Day, June 44, it's less than a year, and there's a lot of fighting in those 11 months.
Nathan served as a bombardier navigator on a B-26 Marauder bomber in the 9th Air Force. He was only 19 years old when his group flew over Normandy, supporting the D-Day invasion. Crouched inside the plexiglass nose of the plane, he saw the massive battle unfold below him.
There was 8,000 ships. Well, I could see most of the whole thing. We had the American Expeditionary Force radio, and they opened the program with the Star-Spangled Banner. So here I am crossing the channel, the sun's coming up, national anthem, all these boats. It was just brought tears.
His job was to set the navigation and drop bombs on specific targets, such as bridges, enemy troops, and railroads. When he had a chance, he'd snap a photo with his Brownie box camera. He caught this photo in flight from his plane on D-Day.
This is a Brownie box camera, and you take pictures on this way or this way by turning the camera.
The Germans rained down hellfire on Allied troops who were in the water and on the beaches, but they were also pounding the air with flak, exploding steel.
We went up to 12,000 feet, and that's when the heavy stuff came up. So this piece of flak, as I say, was about 4 inches, came through between my legs.
It just missed him. He had other close calls, including 2 crash landings at the Battle of the Bulge. One earned him a Distinguished Flying Cross. His plane took a hit from enemy fire. The turret gunner was wounded, and Nathan hustled to save him.
The wound was so large in his groin I couldn't use a tourniquet, so I took gauze and loaded it with sulfanilamide and forced it in there, and it froze at 12,000 feet. But when we got below freezing on our way down, he literally bled to death.
Meanwhile, the plane's landing gear wouldn't work.
And we landed in snow, and the snow's coming up over the plexiglass. I couldn't see anything, and I had my fingers crossed.
Like most vets who served in war, Nathan doesn't consider himself a hero.
I always say, don't portray me as a hero. The heroes are the guys who died.
Nathan had served with another crew that wasn't so lucky. They were killed when their plane got shot down. A Pathé News cameraman caught it on film from another plane.
I was quite upset. My first thought was, I should have been there.
Nate will never forget. His apartment serves as a museum of sorts with artifacts from his military service. After the war, he was given a commission and served in the Air Force Reserve. He retired in 1984 as a major. In 2009, the French government awarded him the Legion of Honor for his wartime service. He worked with the FBI for 6 years, ran a family business, and still serves on 14 boards. He also helps veterans in his role as Allentown's liaison to the military. And when he's not serving others,
If I get a day off, I go nuts. I don't know what to do with myself.
Nathan Klein, a man who has navigated through the toughest and the best of times, with service as his guide. For Focus, I'm Grover Silcox reporting.
Thank you, Grover. Our next story introduces us to another World War II veteran. He went from jumping out of airplanes as a paratrooper to jumping onto the bike and riding circles around people half his age. So if you need a little inspiration to get moving, here's Focus reporter Brittany Garzillo.
Thanks, Laura. We've all heard the expression, age is just a number. 91-year-old Claire Boatman helps prove it. In addition to his service, he's been a member of a local gym for the past 20 years and doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon.
What keeps 91-year-old Claire Boatman going strong?
Do 65 pounds on this.
Exercises such as bicep curls, back extensions, and free weights.
I'll lift 17,800 pounds in one workout. Physically, I'm in about as good a shape as I'm ever going to be at my age.
A retired mechanical engineer from Allentown, Boatman spends hours each week working out at Steel Fitness Premier Health and Wellness in Allentown.
I spend a couple of hours a day, every day practically, in the gym. This is all of the things I do. This is the number of repeats I have on each machine, and this is the weight that I'm lifting on each of those operations, total.
An all-around hard worker, Boatman is both a great-grandfather and a World War II veteran.
I was a paratrooper in 11th Airborne Division. We were in the South Pacific. We were actively involved in combat. I was wounded, received Purple Heart for my wounds. I have what they call artifacts in me.
He served in the Army until 1946.
In '94, I had open heart surgery.
Since then, he makes it a priority to exercise and stay active.
4 or 5 years ago, I like to do these rails to trails biking. I did that in May and June. In July, I went whitewater rafting. In August, I went skydiving. In September, I broke my ankle cutting my grass. In November, I was ziplining in the rainforest.
About twice a week, he participates in a senior cycle class, one of many classes at Steel Fitness Premier tailored for seniors.
The difference between a senior cycle class and a normal class is the lights are on. There's no disco ball or black lights on. The music's lower so that they can hear me, but they can still hear the music. I am much quieter in the class.
Good job. Now drop your chin to your chest, rotate your shoulders down your back, point your fingers to the floor.
Gina Angel is the group fitness coordinator at Steel Fitness Premier Health and Wellness and an instructor for the senior cycle class. She's worked with Boatman in fitness classes for more than a decade.
Claire is our oldest senior cycler. The average age is probably 65 to 75, although we do have younger people that come in that may be intimidated by a regular spin class.
Angel guides the group throughout the hour-long cardio workout, which also includes free weights for strength training.
We stand, we sit, we do modified sprints, we do modified jumps for fun.
Movements that keep even 55-year-old Angel on her toes.
So I have to really be careful of watching who is standing, who is sitting. We're in standing and they sit. Why are they seated? I'm on the bike, but I get off the bike a lot. I am always on high alert.
Unlike regular cycle classes, the senior cycle class features a number of choreographed dance routines.
It's a fun bunch, and Gina makes it fun, for us. So it's just a real good workout.
Taking the senior cycle class will work on your cardio. Your metabolism will increase, burning more calories per hour. You'll become much stronger taking the class because you're developing those muscles in your legs that you might not be using in other ways.
With 33 bikes, Angel says the senior cycle class averages more members per week than any other cycle class.
They come in and there's a camaraderie with them, and they're very social with each other. They're very kind, they're helpful.
It would be easy to sit down and read or do nothing but just sit. But being with people makes you think you're young whether you are or not.
Happy birthday, Claire!
In April, the class celebrated Boatman's 91st birthday.
We were decorating his bike and a couple people were coming in and they said, "Whose birthday is it?" And I said, "Oh, it's Claire's." They said, "Oh, how old is he?" I'm like, "He's 91. And they're like, "Claire's 91?
People have told me, "Hey, well, you're a real inspiration to us, we're gonna keep doing this like you. Maybe when we're 91, we'll still be coming to the gym."
While Boatman attributes his health to medical care and good genes, he shares a tip for others.
Because we're old, we're not worn out necessarily. I think it's important to really keep a good exercise program and stick with it and do it.
His plan for the future? To just keep going.
This is what keeps me strong, If I quit doing this, I would deteriorate. I know that, So I keep going.
For Claire Boatman, there's strength in numbers. For Focus, I'm Brittany Garzillo reporting.
Thank you, Brittany. Experts report that keeping your mind active is an essential part to healthy aging. Penn State Lehigh Valley offers that opportunity to adults over age 55 in its program called SAGE, which stands for Senior Adults Gaining Enrichment. To learn more, let's welcome SAGE Coordinator and Assistant Director of Continuing Education, Diane McAloon, along with founding member Dennis Stengel. Thank you both for joining us today. Sure. Diane, let's begin with you. What is SAGE?
SAGE is a program for students age 55 plus. We have no tests, we have no final exams. They are a self-guided, self-directed group that meets the first Friday of every month. It's a rich program, and what they wanted when we first started setting it up was the ability to build relationships. So we have networking first, we have a lecture for an hour, and then we go into a luncheon afterward. That's pretty much the gist of it, and that's.
And Dennis, when was it started?
It was started in 2008 by a couple that had relocated here from Austin, Texas. They were involved in a program at the University of Texas in Austin, and I believe the folks were Mr. Paul Darcy and Ruth Darcy. They approached Diane back then about starting up a program, and they were the spark that began our journey.
And how many programs have you run since then?
Well, we run 4 per semester, and we're in our 8th year now, wrapping up the spring semester, and it's actually spiraled off into a series called 6 at 6, where we delve into a specific topic for 6 weeks in a row. We have a Go 60 program where students can actually sit in the credit classroom with our undergrads and take a course. Penn State offers travel opportunities. Dennis and his wife and 35 other of us just returned from Scotland, actually, as part of a program that the SAGE group is invited to partake in. So it's taken us all around the world, and right here in the Lehigh Valley as well.
So in many ways, it sounds like some of the very best parts of going to college without all the work that goes with it, right?
That's right. There's no tests, no exams, no homework. So it's a lot of fun, because we also have the socialization with the program. We have lunch afterwards, kind of get together and just socialize and enjoy one another.
How many people do you get in an average event, Diane?
Average for the SAGE group is 70 people, although our database is several hundred. So they're busy people as well. They're not always available on a Friday afternoon, but average we get 70 people out of that several hundred list of participants.
Who may participate?
You have to be over 55 years old. That's our only rule. People are from all different backgrounds, all different professions, all different experience levels, and we ask that you be very curious, which this group definitely has full of questions.
Dennis, what do you consider some of the most memorable events you've had?
Well, one of them was the presentation by a local astronomy group about our Milky Way as our home galaxy, and I thought that was very interesting. There were a number of them that there's a lot of introduction of new ideas, new thoughts, and we also have an opportunity to dialogue with the presenters, which is very, very nice, because it gives us an opportunity to exchange ideas.
And you said the group is very self-directed.
Yes, yeah. When we started, we were doing our own recruiting of the speakers and so forth, and that was a challenge. And we also did our own marketing. We created our own brochures. We worked with the Penn State web designers to include information about our program on their website, and we also got the brochures out to libraries and different venues where plus 55 folks would be at, okay?
So before we wrap up, Diane, would you share with us some of the upcoming events that you're planned?
Well, actually, we have an art professor from the Penn State Lehigh Valley campus will be speaking on Greek and Roman art tomorrow. We are wrapping up the spring, so I'm trying to think what else is coming up. We have a field trip to the coal region coming up in June. That was part of a study, an in-depth study, which we called Old King Coal, Then and Now. So that's coming up. Pretty much we'll be gearing up for fall. So Dennis and I will be behind the scenes thinking of programs and what we're going to line up for fall 2015.
Diane and Dennis, thank you both so much for joining me today.
Okay.
Thank you.
In South Bethlehem, seniors meet at the Hispanic Center Lehigh Valley, where they find health and fitness programs, friendships, and community resources. Soon, they'll have a larger facility to meet the needs of those seniors.
Today, after years of wishing, hoping, and yes, praying, the Hispanic Center Lehigh Valley is moving forward with this renovation.
In the coming months, the Hispanic Center Lehigh Valley will undergo an expansion to the Basilio Huerta Senior Center, where an average of 45 adults gather daily for breakfast, lunch, health programs, and fellowship.
This program is going to help the Hispanic Center expand its services to even more people who are in need, because this organization is relatively small. And there's a lot more demand for the services they offer than there is space and facilities available.
The expansion is funded with a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Aging.
In last year's budget, there was $2 million statewide, and $132,000 came to the Hispanic Center Lehigh Valley. So a significant grant. In fact, it was the second largest grant out of 67 senior centers that were awarded funding last year. So the second largest grant in the entire state was right here in Bethlehem.
With those funds, we'll be able to renovate that space so that it's more usable. And now what we have is additional programming that has been coming in, a lot of exercise, education. The way that the room will be laid out will allow us to do so much more, and hopefully also to bring in more seniors, because we just didn't have space.
Executive Director Lorna Velasquez hopes that space will be available by July, when she expects renovations to be complete.
To help us learn more about the aches and pains that often come with aging and how to mitigate them, I'm now joined by Dr. Eric Levy, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Lehigh Valley Health Network. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Laura. On behalf of Lehigh Valley Hospital Health Network, thank you so much for having me.
Now, you said it comes down to three things. There's three main ingredients to healthy aging. What are they?
There are three main things, and that's exercise, sleep, and nutrition. And if I tell my chronologically advanced patients that if you do that, that you're going to stay out of the doctor's office.
Now, I have to take a step back. Chronologically advanced?
It's what I use for the 55 and over patients.
So at SAGE, they call them 55 plus, and you call them chronologically
Yes,
advanced.
I do.
Okay, let's get back to those three. Exercise, sleep, and nutrition. Let's start with exercise. What tips do you have?
Exercise is extremely important, not just for our chronologically advanced people, but for middle-aged people and our young generation. Exercise is very often overlooked. Exercise is so important for every organ system in our body, including our hearts, including our bones, and believe it or not, even including our brain health. And staying fit is not just a physical thing, it's also a mental thing. Exercise is connected with improving arthritis, with improving our hearts, which also in turn improve our overall health.
I imagine that it's difficult for some people to know exactly how they should be exercising as they get older because their body's responding differently. Should they be focusing on cardio or strength training or both?
That's a great question, Laura, and they should be focusing on both. And if you've never exercised before, it's a great idea to get someone who does know how to exercise and help you. And at Lehigh Valley Health Network, we have great facilities to exercise. We have a gym in Allentown, a new gym in Allentown. It's a full-service gym, and there are physical therapists there to help you. There are trainers there to help you. And if you're not sure, just dial 610-402-CARE, and there'll be an operator that can help you and direct you to one of those facilities.
So once you're exercising, you said the next one is sleep?
Yeah, sleep is extremely important, and sleep is overlooked a lot. And as a surgeon, I often overlook sleep. But sleep is extremely important for our body, because when we're sleeping, we're not really shut down. Our body's actually working. We're actually burning calories when we sleep. And sleep is extremely important to help. Just imagine not sleeping a night or two. Imagine if you're in pain and you haven't slept well for over a week. Imagine what your mood is like. You can be very overtired. You can get into car accidents. You can do things at work that could be damaging to yourself or others. So sleep is extremely important as far as caring about your overall health.
And finally, nutrition. What do you want our viewers to know about nutrition?
The nutrition is extremely important. We've unfortunately become a fast food society and a super-sized society. We like everything extra large, and I remember when I was young, we used to have the little tiny thing of fries from McDonald's, this little paper thing, and now it's these huge big buckets of fries that we get. So a lot of it's portioning and remembering the 4 food groups. Remember, fad diets are bad. Nothing that comes quickly is a good thing. You really have to work at it, and you have to work at your diet and know the foods you're putting in your body. If you have a great looking sports car, you don't put poor gasoline in it, but people tend to put whatever they want in their bodies. And I look at bodies as our sports car. This is your body, and treating it well now will pay dividends later.
What are the most common ailments you see from people as they get older? Just those general aches and pains. How do they manifest themselves?
They can manifest themselves in many ways. I encourage my chronologically advanced patients to exercise and to play tennis and to play golf and to do things that they enjoy, run around with their grandchildren. It's extremely important to do that. And in doing so, you can get your aches and pains, and you can get sprains, you can get strains in different parts of your body. But it's extremely important to do that exercise, because exercising will really keep you around longer, and you'll be able to celebrate things with your grandchildren. You'll be able to go out with your wife. You'll be able to do things. My 80 and 90-year-olds today are like yesterday's 50 and 60-year-olds, and it shows, because the ones that are still around are the ones that exercise, get the proper amount of sleep, and really focus on their nutrition.
Thank you so much, Dr. Levy.
Thank you very much.
Well, we encourage you to share your ideas with us for stories. You can connect with us on social media on Facebook and YouTube at PBS39 and on Twitter at PBS39 channel. You can also find us online at WLVT.org/focus. Thanks for the stories this week. Brittany, if Claire looks this good now, I can't imagine when he was a soldier in World War II.
I can't either. When we followed him that day, we followed him through the senior cycling class, and then after that, he did strength training. He, like you said, he really can ride circles around people that are half his age.
And one of the Professor Donald Miller, who was in my piece, is also the author of World War II books, and one of them, Masters of the Air, is going to be turned into a mini-series by Tom Hanks. And also following suit, Nathan Klein, going on 91 years old, hits the gym every day at 5:30 a.m.
It's remarkable. Remarkable to see what these seniors are doing.
Well, thank you, Grover. Thank you, Brittany. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week, but we want to leave you with our friends from Dunnigan and Freemansburg Elementary Schools right here in Bethlehem.